in a big house, you need heating, cooling, plumbing, and everything else. And that's why we have our expert with us this morning. Paul Nebrasky is here.
Well, good morning.
How you doing?
Paul Nebrasky.
Mr. Paul Nebrasky, Nebrasky Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, which we need now. Forget the heat now.
Well, I got to tell you, I got here early today. I am so glad I did. It was been so much fun. I had to
Listen, I thank Paul every morning when I get in the shower. Because his guy...
Does Frank know that? And does Paul's wife know that?
Neither one of them are in the shower with me.
You need Paul more than your significant other. There's no doubt about it.
Apparently
sure.
so. He's apparently in a lot of houses.
I am telling you, I had so much problems with pressure and hot water.
We couldn't get that thing
now
right.
I got nothing.
Yeah, we were chasing it all over till we got Paul's guys to come in and start fixing it up, and within a short time,
no doubt about it.
We were good to go.
Good to go.
Well, I'm ready, good to go to give away something today.
Are
we ready?
Right.
Folks, this is the fun part, so listen up.
What are we giving away?
Well, I think what do we want to give away,
Let's give away a gift certificate to yesterday's.
You know what?
That's apropos.
I really is good. Right?
Good. Seamless. Very
and
well done.
I'm gonna guess it's for a restaurant that will be on Main Street in Warwick. At least for now.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
All right. So
use it soon.
Let's give away $50 gift certificate. All right. We have two questions.
$50
today.
gift certificate.
We
Wow.
have two questions today. All right. So here's the first one. What member of the greatest band, one of the greatest bands of all time, whose popular single went gold today? All
Gold
right?
just today.
Just today. I mean, not today. Today. This
in
date,
history.
Yeah, 19. It was actually 1977 when it went gold.
Okay.
A few years ago.
Frank will know.
Was in a movie
anything.
in the 80s about a group of plumbers who traveled to Colombia to rescue a
How
friend
do
from
you
a drug
find this
log.
stuff?
What do you mean? Come on, let me read it again.
Oh,
okay.
It's called the internet.
You know the.
Okay.
You know the movie, I think, Taylor, but don't say it.
What members of a group, one of the greatest groups of all time, whose single went gold today in 1977, okay, was in a movie in the 80s about a group of plumbers who traveled to Colombia to rescue a friend from a drug lord?
I know this.
You probably know the movie. Don't say it, but you probably
I don't know
the
what
movie.
it is. 845-651-1110. Just let me make mention, no matter what, if you've won in the last 60 days, you're not eligible today. So keep
don't
that
pick
in
up the
mind.
phone.
Don't pick, so
all
Frank
right.
picks up the phone.
All right, but we have a second question today.
Okay.
We have a second question.
Are we giving away another gift certificate?
No, we're doing better. We're giving $100 to a charity of your choice, Taylor.
Warwick Valley Humane Society.
All right, so we
There's a shocker.
so we got that. All right, so this question is, how many bathrooms does Neil have?
Listen.
And Neil's not eligible. I hope.
Oh, you're killing me
All
here.
right, so-
Listen,
all
if
right.
anybody who's listening is
man.
tone deaf, then they don't know.
Okay, and
you're killing me.
I'm killing Neil. We just want to know how many bathrooms Neil has, and I will let you know, if you do not know, nobody wins that question. We're giving away the money no matter what. Okay,
You give it to me. I got to take care of those bathrooms.
Am I eligible?
are you eligible?
Taylor's going to go to the phones right in by you because this is kind of crazy right there. But no, you know, it is true. And we do talk all the time. And even I don't know how many bathrooms Neil has. And I'd have to take a guess on it pretty much from there. But Taylor, I think, does. We'll go to that.
This is the answer for Neil's bathroom.
All right. So we're going to hold on a second with that before we actually go to that.
Killing me. Get over here.
We're going to hold this
Doing to
suspense.
me.
Here's my question.
But hang on the phone. Don't go away.
Is there anybody in our listening audience who doesn't know how many bathrooms are in
please.
Neil's house?
What else does your wife do other than clean those bathrooms? Like when she gets down
wait
to
a
the
minute,
last
who
one.
cleans those bathrooms?
When she gets to the last
I
one,
do.
she's got to go back and
I
do them all
clean
again.
them all.
Would you like another two?
Yeah, right.
He's
It's
the
a joint
expert on that.
effort. Everybody does it.
All right, well,
Everybody
Paul
participates.
Nebrasky is with us. Before we go and get to the phone, Paul, tell everybody about Nebrasky Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. How long have you guys been around, and where can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, we're going on our 34th year now. So we've been around 34 years. And the best way to get a hold of us is nebraskyplumbing.com. We will answer any of your questions. Also, you can call us at 1-800-796-6853. Also, I want to let listening audience know to go ahead and text in their questions because we are ready.
We got one.
Okay. I'll let you read it today this morning, Tyler.
All right. Good morning. I'm having my bathroom redone, and my contractor wants me to pay for most of the job up front. Is this standard? Ooh.
Wow.
I would say no, but I'm not the professional.
You know, I hear this so many times. We have people call us and say, my bathroom never got done or my plumbing job never got done. And I'm like, okay, well, how much did you pay the contractor? And like, well, we're paid in full.
Oh my God!
So it's amazing. So the way I'm gonna talk about this is any contractor who wants you to pay up front, do not use them.
Yeah,
Okay?
because that's a ripoff right there.
It means there's a couple things that it means. It means they don't have the money to buy your material.
That's it.
All right. So they are not a good contractor to begin with. They're having financial problems. So the most we ask for 20% deposit. All right. So the most I'm going to let you have is a 20% deposit. Okay. So I would not use that contractor.
So when you're taking the risk pretty much when you're doing the job that people will pay when it's done, because you've invested your time and money and everything else in it.
We got a great test. We got a text that is hilarious. And he said Neil is the one who caused the great toilet paper crisis of 2020.
Was that you, Neil?
Was that you? Wait,
That wasn't me personally.
Wait, so Neil, how many bathrooms do
Well,
we?
wait a minute.
Did somebody answer that question?
No,
we had that person on the
we
phone.
had them
right.
and they hung up.
hung
So
up. Well,
call
so-
back.
Don't
Anybody
call
can do
back.
it. Call back.
I'll give you the $100. Forget it. Don't
All right.
answer that question.
Wait a second. So, all right.
So call us back. How many bathrooms are in Neil's house today? And the other question was that the movie about a movie that the plumbers, you would not know these people were plumbers. So get that out of your head. Paul probably researched that the people were actually doing a job as plumbers, and then they went down to save this. Whatever.
Holmes makes it right. So, hey, Frank and Taylor, the question for Paul is I need a new kitchen faucet. Someone told me to go to Home Depot because the faucets there, they sell are cheap compared to what the plumber provides.
Oh, yeah. So,
those are
Paul,
great.
we've talked about this before, and when you think Home Depot is so big, is this true that what they do is they can have the companies make faucets specifically for them, and some of them are a little lower grade than what you would.
It's funny we talked about, and you worked at Channel at one time, correct, Frank?
Yeah.
And first of all, where do we get these questions from? The listeners
they're
are just
coming
amazing.
in after.
Okay,
But
all
Channel didn't have the clout that like Home Depot wound up with, though.
Okay, yeah. So the truth is that the major manufacturers do make faucets and other products for for Home Depots and Lowe's. Most of the time, they're made a little bit different than what the plumbers can provide, and they're only sold at Home Depot.
But not all of them, though, right?
Not all of them. And what they will do is they will add some plastic parts in certain areas, like the drain part that comes with your faucet. They'll make that plastic. It will still work, but I don't feel it's as good as what we sell. I'm not going to tell you not to buy it from Home Depot because the warranty is the same. The issue comes in that if that faucet breaks and you call me, I necessarily will not have the parts to fix it because it does have some different parts. So not all the time, but sometimes the faucet is a different faucet. Okay?
So if somebody's looking for a faucet, Paul, and they go to Home Depot and they pick the one they like, would they say, this is the model I like?
They would, and the problem is, Frank, they really made it hard because
You don't have that model.
I don't have that model.
Yeah.
Kohler or Delta make it a different model number, and if you go on Kohler or Delta's website, it will say Home Depot only.
So how do they find out what you have or what you can get?
Call them.
Actually, we have to find that out. So I have to actually kind of look at the faucet and match it to what we can sell.
So you want to get one as close as to what they're looking for as is available from a manufacturer.
Exactly. And I'm not saying don't buy it from Home Depot. I'm really not, Frank. I'm just telling you, the question was they heard it's not as good or not made as well. It's made well. It's just going to have certain parts in it that
Paul,
they don't
here's
have.
Possibly,
a great question. Hi, Paul.
Was I finished the last question yet?
I don't know.
That's good.
I wasn't listening.
Were Frank
Let
and
the
I
man
done?
finish.
Were Frank and I done?
was giving you
You
the
weren't
same,
listening?
I was giving you the same thing I give Frank. I
It's
wasn't listening.
It's the same for Lowe's, by the way. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, Frank, what were we talking about there? Okay,
I
go
don't
ahead.
know.
Go
I'm
ahead. How
lost.
many bathrooms does Neil have? Which one were we on? I forgot.
Hi, Paul. When I asked my plumber for a copy of the plumbing license, he told me you don't need one in Warwick. Is this true?
No, I got to tell you the truth. That is a great question, and I've mentioned it to Steve Newhouse when we're on the air.
Right.
Orange County itself is the largest county in New York State not to have a plumbing license. So it is true.
How could they not require a plumbing license?
New Jersey has a license. Almost every state has a license. So New York does not have a plumbing license.
Why?
The whole state?
Well, the whole state, and it's really because of the New York City unions. They don't want, they have their own license there, which is okay, but other counties have them. So, Rockland County has a license, Ulster County has a license. So Orange County does not have a plumbing license. It drives me crazy. I got to get my hair cut, whatever hair I have left here. My barber has a license. You get your nails done. They have a license.
They have a license.
Right.
So, I mean, Neil and I can go into business now changing things, and legally that's okay.
Yeah, legally that's okay. okay. And
Wow.
and to be honest with you, I'm okay if that's what you
scary.
want to do. But the scary part is we're dealing with gas, we're dealing with oil, we're dealing with explosives, we're dealing with sewer. All this stuff can kill you.
And this is all
right,
part of what's not licensed that you don't.
And there's no license in Orange County.
Wow. So what
one
did
of-
Steve say?
Steve said, I would be willing to talk about it, but I asked him obviously during the pandemic, and there's a lot more things going on. The bottom line is I'm not sure how your person who does your nails can kill you, and I'm not sure. I know how your barber
Well,
can kill you. I've watched too many
You can
movies.
get infection. You can get infections if things aren't cleaned properly.
I understand, but they're
Yeah.
not going to blow up your house
Yeah.
and kill your whole family.
Yeah, I didn't
Well, I
think
don't
we had to connect that
plumbing
gas
will blow
pipe.
up your whole house and kill your
Oh,
family.
you don't think that a gas pipe can leak?
No, we're not talking about gas pipe plumbing.
The gas pipes too.
No, well, the way truthfully, first of all, a plumber protects the health of your nation, all right? And so we're dealing with your sewer lines. Just talk about COVID. So if we cross your sewer line with a water line, which I've seen happen, or we put, we're putting bacteria into your water. We're dealing with your septic. We're dealing with,
That's not good.
No, there's so many ways plumbing. Most people died in this country because of inadequate plumbing. When we had all the plagues, when the sewers used to, you threw your bucket outside your window so yeah, plumbing is
I
important.
have a question here
Well,
because
before you do that, I just want to say about plumbing, because hold your question thought there, Taylor. I saw a show the other day on TV where they were talking about the people that did the plumbing in the house before did invent the pipes outside some cases. They actually did it to the attic and left some pipes in the walls. And they said that the methane gas could build up and blow the house up. Is that true?
100%. And also get you sick. So, yeah, there's so many ways a plumber should be licensed.
did you have
and
your
they're not.
pipes checked, Neil, about because your house is over 100 years old?
Yeah, we've had it.
Okay.
They didn't have indoor plumbing when they put.
Here's a question from one of the listeners, and I don't agree with this. I hear I was told new.
Oh, hold on. I got a caller on the phone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, some lawyer guy. Bob, what's going on?
Paul, love the show. You're very knowledgeable. Quick question for you. Is there a difference between indirect hot water heaters used by solar panels, which has antifreeze in it, and other indirect hot water heaters, which might be fired by your boiler, for example?
So, Bob, to answer that question, I am not 100% expert on solar water heaters because we don't do a lot of them. But really, the answer is no. It's really the same indirect hot water heater. So, for the listeners to understand what an indirect hot water heater is, we actually just put one in Frank and Taylor's house a couple months back. And how do you guys like that, Frank?
Love it.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. So the difference is that an indirect hot water heater heats the hot water off your boiler. So you, instead of there being a flame underneath it, you take the hot water from your boiler, and in this case, your solar panel, and you heat your hot water. So no, there's really not a difference between those two water heaters. There really is not, except for the antifreeze.
Great. I was worried about the antifreeze maybe corroding the coil inside.
Okay.
If I didn't get the right one, but what you're telling me is there's really not much of a difference.
Right. I mean, they make a stainless steel heat exchanger. That's what you're going to look for. You want to look for an indirect that is made to take antifreeze. But we also put antifreeze in boilers, okay? So where they could freeze. So the question you want to make sure of, really important thing for the listeners out there, if you have antifreeze in your boiler or antifreeze in your solar system, antifreeze degrades and it becomes acidic. So you want to make sure your contractor once a year tests the antifreeze or yourself, and you can use it the same way, Frank, you would use a car, test your antifreeze in your car.
Yeah, those.
Right, to make sure that antifreeze doesn't turn to acid. And if it does, it's going to corrode whatever you have, including your boiler.
All
Great.
right.
Thanks so much. Love the show. Take care.
All right.
Thanks.
There you go. Thanks, Bob. There you go.
All right. Can I ask my question now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. This is the listener wanted to know.
And what
this.
was Bob?
I was told new toilets do not flush as well as old. So
True.
I disagree with that 100%
True.
because we have a new toilet.
True.
And it flushes 1,000,000 times better than
Yeah, that's
the
why
old
you're in
one.
there with the plunger every other week, Taylor.
Not at all. Don't make up stuff.
I had to go there and fix it the other day.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Is that true? I mean,
All right, wait. So they were told new toilets do not flush as well. Okay, so another great question. In, I think it was 2005, the United States told the plumbing industry that we have to flush 1.6 gallon flush toilets and we're going to save water. Well, at that point, we were flushing 5-gallon toilets. So the United States plumbing industry or the manufacturers didn't have time to redesign their toilets. So all they did is like cut the amount of water in the tank down.
Oh.
But they didn't redesign the whole system. And guess what? They didn't work. My whole day was, when we put these toilets in, was talking to customers whose toilets didn't work. They're like, so we're saving time and we got to flush it 3 times for it to work, and they didn't work.
Right.
Okay, little sidebar to that. Japan had already had this technology. So Japan, Toto came in, and literally we sold tons of Japanese toilets, which I wasn't happy about.
I gotcha.
So at this point now, 15 years, 16 years later, we've caught up. The new toilets flush better than even the old ones, and they work. Okay.
And I like the design of them better because it's not like a straight down. It's kind of an angle so that when the paper is in there, it goes down on an angle.
Yeah.
It doesn't all clump up into one pile.
It's the way it flushes. And Frank, what we made it different. You'll see the S on the bottom of your tank. If you ever look in the bottom of a bowl, I'm sure you have, Neil. You got 6 of them.
Oh, yeah,
7
all the
8
time.
of them. 9.
and he's always-
no, I can't give away
60,
my
70.
question. I can't give away.
And he's
my
always on the
question.
floor, yeah.
But they made that trapway.
true.
To
Not
make
for that reason, though.
Exactly. This is why
There's
I
a lot of
came in
reasons too.
This is why I came in early, because I knew Neil was going to be here. Neil makes my day. He really does.
A little whiskey there.
Paul, you
We're
need to
waiting
get
for
out
him
more.
to retire.
I need to have.
We're waiting for Neil to retire. So
What
we
I
put him on
really
board.
no, I could retire if I have more customers who have as many bathrooms as Neil.
But I could get a license apparently, or I don't need a license. So I'm going to go into their houses and I'm going to do their plumbing.
All right, when Steve calls, we're going to talk to him about
Show
that
him your
now.
driver's license.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm putting my foot down now. But the bottom line is, so what we did, Frank, is we made the trapway on the bottom, they made it larger. So we're flushing less water on top, but the part where it goes down, the pipe is larger to make it work. So that's a great question, but no, they flush better now.
Those ones that you see in like public places that make that big whooshing noise, do they
those-
work different, or is that?
They do. That's a good question. Those are power flush toilets. So one of the first things when the United States toilet industry couldn't figure out how to make them flush, they put this air tank in there, filled with air and water, and that's what you hear. But this will let you know. They had a recall on them. They were blowing up.
Oh, wonderful.
There's literally people who got
Because of
hurt.
the air.
What a way to go.
Yeah, so they're blowing up. So they're still out there. It's absolutely a way to go. That took a minute to sink in, Frank. I'm sorry about that. All right. I
little
mean,
double entendre
Got
there.
blown up in the
Double
bathroom.
entendre.
all right. So absolutely. Okay.
All right, so let me.
So that's good. So that's not
we
for home
hear-
use, though.
Okay, so we hear this. Why do I hear a noise and banging in my baseboard? We hear it all the time
Yeah.
when the heat goes on.
Are you sending these questions in?
No, I swear to God, but it's real. Listen, I think these are questions that a lot of people deal with, especially in different areas where you have older homes.
Well, Frank, can we tell your story real quickly? Because that was a
Yeah.
great phone call. I mean, Frank calls me with a plumbing question, and he diagnoses it before I even get to talk to him.
Look at
Look,
you.
when I retire, I'm gonna go
Look
work for
at
Paul.
you.
And you don't need a
know it.
license.
I don't
That's
need a
right.
license.
Yeah. I might start working tomorrow.
How come I needed a license to come on today? I needed a radio
What about that
license.
operation? You're not a doctor, right? 'Cause there
he
was
thinks
a
he
little
is.
playing doctor the other day,
Yeah,
so
I
I
think
just
he-
want to
I
know.
think he put a lot of doctor in
yeah,
that.
we just heard a very weird noise going on, a little knocking,
Like a
somebody,
banging in the
like somebody was
baseboard.
hitting the pipes with a hammer.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and the best thing is, guys, I should have really recorded it
You should
because
have.
Frank's making a noise for me, right? And
He does that for me too.
Right, excuse me.
I'm making one right now.
Well, and I'm like, this is my Halloween show. But so Frank calls me up, and I'll finish the story. And he said, I think it has something to do with the zone, the little valve on the bottom, the little valve that opens up. And you were 100% right, Frank. So the question is,
Look at you.
yeah, when Frank's situation was a
dumb.
different situation, but baseboard heating will make noise as it heats up, right? So when water goes through something and it's hot, it expands. And if the baseboard heating, when the plumber put in the pipes or a heating guy, if it's tight against wood, or say you put rug in and you make it tight.
No, it's wood.
Right.
Yeah.
It's knocking against that wood in
Yeah.
the house. And
And God knows who did this
Because,
in 1978.
I saw that on this old house a couple of weeks ago, actually, where the piping, there was no spacing because the pipes expand when the hot water gets in there, and it was pushing against the wall on both ends. So he had to shorten the pipe up about an inch, and then it get that leeway because it expands and it's got to stretch without making noise.
so I got two quick stories about that. Number one is a lot of people now are moving up from New York City, after the pandemic,
yeah.
and they never had baseboard hot water heat. So they call me up and they go, I got this noise in my house. We can't sleep at night. What's this banging? And, we go over there, and unfortunately, a lot of this banging, Neil, is in their sheetrock. I can't even fix it. It's
Cousin Louie, got to let him out of there.
Yeah, you got to let him out of there. And one other thing happened to us, and we actually ended up going to
It was Uncle Vinny that put him there.
this customer, and I really felt bad for her. She actually ended up going to New York State, and we almost had to go to court over it, and we had to get a mediator to fix this case. And that's not me, because we will do anything for a customer. She had an old oil boiler, and you have an oil boiler in your house, Frank. You know how loud they are. This oil boiler was below their bedroom.
My God.
And they lived in the house for 10 years.
Great.
So they hired us through a New York State program where they subsidized it to remove their oil boiler, put in a high efficiency gas boiler that was 98%. So they're going to save energy. New York State paid for half of it. That's why New York State That's why New York State got involved. The problem is today's new boilers at 98% in gas, they make no noise. They make none. So this person slept with that oil boiler making the noise for 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
So now that there was no sound below her when she was sleeping, she heard all the baseboard creaking.
Oh.
That was creaking the whole time.
Yeah.
And she said she couldn't sleep at night.
Tell her to get white noise.
Right? But literally was
hilarious.
crying and blamed it on us.
Really?
They're like, you caused this noise.
But you wouldn't hear the noise with all that other noise going on.
And we did everything. I did everything.
That's interesting.
Still was not happy. It went to court. It went everywhere. And finally, I couldn't do anything. So it was just a horrible situation.
Before we run out of time.
We never run out of time.
We never run out of time.
Okay.
I'm only 6 minutes over today, Taylor.
Take it easy there, Taylor.
No, that doesn't bother me.
Sure it does.
No, that part doesn't.
Paul's getting to be like Frank.
I have no. Hey, during my 20 minutes, I could be like Frank. I once said my show, and Taylor killed me about it. I will never do that again.
I was here when she did.
Right.
That.
I am still hurting. I still got black and blue.
It is your segment.
Your segment, not your show.
I understand that.
When your tech was here checking my AC, this is a text, folks. He said the refrigerant wasn't going to be available, I guess, anymore. The future to recharge the unit, and I should consider a new system. Is that true? No. Well, you think Paul's going to tell him this people lie?
So he's using the old air conditioning refrigerant
Right.
that is not, Freon, that's not available anymore.
Exactly. So Frank hit it exactly. The Freon's not available. The Freon's not available. So absolutely, if you can't get the Freon, and the system's that old, it's not efficient anyway, you should absolutely consider a new system.
I agree.
Can you adapt the old system to run on the new Freon?
You absolutely can. But the problem is if the system's that old, Frank, it's
know.
going to be over 10 years old. What is
Why
the
are you
sense
putting
of-
more money into it?
And for that person that texted that in too, towards the end when Freon was available, it was like buying something on the black market.
Right.
Because the guy came to fill up my Freon once. It was like $400 just for the cost of the Freon,
And
because it was very rare.
gotten
It's
drugs
double that
cheaper.
now.
It's double.
that
All right,
now.
so
sure.
And I want to say one other thing. If my texts say it, it's coming from me, so don't worry about
Absolutely.
that.
I can attest to that.
We give if we feel we didn't do right by the customer, I will send the customer back the money before they even know.
And
Paul,
there are rebates available for installing stuff like that
Absolutely.
too. So that's
Huge
something to
rebate.
consider
Okay,
and talk
so we
about.
have them coming in one after another here. Is it safe to use Drano or other chemicals that drain cleaners? Now, I do this every once in a while in the bathtub because Frank, I don't know, you keep losing hair like crazy.
Because I'm an animal.
Don't be a brag.
Are you talking about hair? I'll take off my hat. The reason I have a hat on.
So the thing I use in the toilet once a month is biodegradable. It's all natural stuff to keep the septic and the sewer clean. It comes in a little bag. I get
Which is
12.
absolutely fine. I actually love this question because,
Yeah, but in the tub, I use some chemical. I don't know which one it is.
well, in the tub, it's really pulling out the hair, and we can show you how to do that. But
without chemicals.
well, it's a little bit mechanical, but yeah. So
A lot of it gets trapped there, Taylor. It doesn't go through. It just sits there.
So then, what can you use?
It's when you get it trapped, like in the.
pull it out and see your hair. That's for
Well,
sure.
then why not? It's the dog's hair, not mine, Taylor.
I don't wash the dog.
The whole
in
dog
that
was
tub.
the other day. The dog came out hairless. What are you talking about?
all right, but no, this is a great question. And all kidding aside, Neil, the drain. If people have copper pipes and people have older pipes, not the plastic pipes that we use today, these are chemicals. You're going to put them in your system All right, and they are going to eat away your old plumbing pipe. So
And
it's
plus, it leaches into the soil.
right. It leaches into the soil. Number two, if it doesn't clean it, the chemical smell or fumes can
Right.
come back up.
Right.
I do not believe in
All right,
chemicals.
so what do you
So
believe
what do you do?
I believe in drain cleaning or the natural stuff that you use to
Okay.
use it. All right, and the point with the chemicals also, if you do use the chemicals, this is really important. I myself, when I was in the field, I got burnt.
Ooh.
Okay, if you use a chemical on your drain and you don't tell your plumber, we asked a question when he comes out, and now he's opening up that drain pipe.
Oh.
Okay, I burned myself once, and then of course I touched my eye, and I
Oh,
literally,
jeez.
and so
Yikes.
we actually, if somebody used a chemical, we will not go out there, because I just want to let you know, if you did use it, tell your plumber first, because
All
we're
right.
going to give a little time.
We're going to do the last text here.
No.
You guys are awesome. He's talking about Nebrasky Plumbing and Heating.
I thought
I
talking
thought
about
you
you,
were
Taylor.
I don't think so. Fixed a leak right away when I called yesterday morning. Your tech arrived quickly, got us taken care of. Thank you so much. Nebrasky is the best.
I like that one.
there
That's
you
a,
go.
that's a,
I'm sure
there
you
we
do.
go.
There's a nice one to end on.
Yeah.
Are you Paul's mother?
You know, Paul,
Thank
it
you,
is
Mrs. Nebrasky.
it is a horrible thing when something goes wrong with plumbing in the house. It's like you can't think anymore. I mean, it just affects you that badly. It's not, it's like it's so bad. We don't have any water. We don't have a bathroom. We got a leak. We got water coming in. They're emergencies, really. So it's good to
No, and they
get a
are,
result.
and you want a company, whether it's a plumber, heating company, or anybody, you want to feel like it's taken care of when you made that phone call, and that's what we try to do. We try to all the way through to make sure that when you call the office, we're taken care of. When the tech comes out, it's really important.
Yeah, and if it's a place you can't get into, they take pictures on the tablet and they show you here's where the
Oh,
problem
yeah.
is.
They are so
They'll take movies.
savvy.
They do all sorts of stuff.
I don't know. The
That's
guys
really cool.
that come out to our house, not only the nicest guys, but they are so knowledgeable. And Frank loves to watch everything they do.
Oh, I stand by. I take some popcorn, sit down, and just
Right, it's a long-
watch this.
and we thought he was watching because we don't go by the cars. You mean you were really?
Nah, it's actually the cars. But
But think of the guy that owns the place.
Yeah.
They're a product
But
of him.
Frank is very inquisitive.
Well, I like to
about-
learn, though. I
he
know I do
loves-
like to
I
see.
know.
Yeah.
The funny story.
Yeah, tell him about that.
Well, I don't know if you know which one, but Keith,
I know.
Keith, who's one of my best technicians,
Yeah, he's the
called
one
me.
that comes all the
He
time.
comes and he was getting nervous. He texts me. He goes, "Frank's watching me." I'm like, talk
Maybe
to
he
Frank.
likes you.
I'm like, Frank wants to learn, and he's going to be Frank. Let him. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. And then he got talking to you, Frank. And he texted
Yeah,
me
it's so
back
fun.
later. He goes,
I don't want to bother him to ask him questions. Let them do their job,
Yeah, I had
No
an-
license.
I had an old boss, which we will never do.
Yeah, that's right. I learned enough that I can do plumbing now, and I don't need a license, so I'm good to
You
go.
touch up plumbing, you're out.
I had a boss 40 years ago, and I won't tell you how old I was, but I was new to the business, and I had this customer who was driving me crazy and watched me and said something everything I do. So he tells me, well, here's how you get rid of the customer. And he actually meant it. Back then, we soldered everything. He says, when you solder...
You soldered the customer?
No. Yes, I did. That's what he told me to do, Neil. He said to me, when you're soldering, you have to wipe the hot solder off so it looks good. He goes, wipe it enough so a little speck hits the customer and burns him. He goes, he will stop watching
Oh,
you.
that's
Oh, my goodness.
There's a lawsuit right there, Paul.
I'm like,
Whoa.
we didn't worry about lawsuits 40 years ago. It was a
Yeah,
different
the
world.
good old
I
days.
said, are you
Wow.
serious? He goes, yes. Your job is to get the work done and to make me money. And if this customer's bothering you, I'm there making money. Burn the customer. I'm like, okay.
Oh, jeez.
That was
Okay,
Whoa.
You got the blowtorch out then.
All right,
Even
so-
I would
That's
not
a
do
little,
that.
little over the top.
Yeah.
All right, so
All right, so here we go. Here's a couple of things. Number one, we don't have the number of bathrooms with people who just want to call in and take guests. What do they get if they get this one right?
no,
Well,
we're going to give
that-
away $100 to the Warwick Value.
We're giving
Nurses.
away that no matter what.
Okay.
But we have somebody who can answer that question in
How
the
many
studio
bathrooms
today.
are in Neil's house? 845-651-1110. And I'm going to go to this thing afterward. But
Good.
I also want
We
to
have the other question,
I want
too.
Paul to repeat the question where somebody can win a $50 gift certificate
Let's
to
do it.
yesterday's.
Let's do it. Okay,
All right,
hold on. Let me pull it back
$50.
up so
Go
I
get
it right.
yourself a nice steak at yesterday's.
Okay, so this person who played in one of the greatest bands of all time, who in 1977 their record went gold, was in a movie where they played plumbers who were rescuing.
Is it in the same
their
year of the
friend.
movie?
That I don't know, Taylor. That I don't know.
All right.
All right, so if we don't have any winners,
Well, I have a winner on, or maybe we'll see for the number of bathrooms in Neil's house.
Is it Neil's
Taylor?
wife on the phone?
Taylor?
All right. What's your first name and where are you calling from? Hello? Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, are you just playing with the phone or you want to talk to us?
I dropped the phone in the toilet.
Absolutely.
How many bathrooms are in Neil's house?
Hello? I don't.
I believe there are 8.
Okay, what's your first name?
George,
And George, what part of the country are you
Part
in?
of the phone are you using?
Middletown.
All right, George. 8 bathrooms. Is that correct, Neil?
That is correct.
All right.
That is correct. All right, yeah,
We
we got
want
it.
a drum roll.
Look, you got to see Neil's face right now. He looks a little like embarrassed or smiling.
He's shaking his head. That's all
All
I'm
right,
He's
so-
saying.
like, Paul had to come in today.
Well,
What's going on?
thank you,
here?
George.
Paul was
because-
my friend.
Yeah, because of your correct answer, we're going to give Paul's going to give $100 to the Warwick Valley Humane Society.
All right.
So
Very nice.
Thank you very much, George.
Did your good deed today,
Thank
George.
you,
Thanks.
George.
Thanks, George.
All righty, good stuff indeed from Middletown. All right, so the other question, all right, movie. Let's think about this. Maybe we can help out with some clues here, Taylor.
Okay.
Oh, the movie
you love
was
movies.
in the 80s, by the way. The
It
movie
was
in
it
the
a
80s.
horrific movie?
I didn't watch the movie.
Oh, you didn't see it.
okay.
Did it leave you like not sleeping for a couple of nights? If you did watch it,
Probably.
All right. So I will tell you, the song was an amazing
Was it called
song.
The Plumber, the movie?
No.
it has nothing. The movie has nothing to do with
But,
plumbing.
I gave you other hints. I gave you one of the greatest bands of all time.
That was their song.
Their song went. If I tell you their song, you're going to know.
Yeah,
the
well,
person.
yeah, no.
Their song went gold today, and or could have been their album, 1977. So think of one.
This
of the
was a
best,
group?
This is a group. They're still playing today.
All right, and it was
By the way, speaking
in a movie.
Before I forget, I was on the way in this morning. You played a Doobie Brothers song I haven't heard in so long.
Eyes
I
of
was
Silver.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard that too. That was
Oh,
a
my
great,
What a great song. You know, it was funny because that song, Eyes of
Love,
Silver, was the name of the song.
Love, and I have not heard that song in years.
It
Only
was-
here would it play.
That album had a bunch of singles on it, but none of them hit big until one or two of them did. But that was one of the ones that didn't
So
hit
the,
big.
Love that
the group
song.
I'm talking about, almost every song, it's one of the best-selling albums of all time. I'll give you one more hint. The group, and this is going to give it away, okay?
Well, are they American or foreign?
They're American.
They are.
Okay,
Well,
they're
wait.
on. I'll give you a hint. They're not on the East Coast. They came from the West Coast.
All right.
Okay.
And it's from don't.
And we're talking
it's not
about
Boys to
one
Men. Taylor,
person.
come on. I don't. 1970s. It is. Was anybody in the group identifiable? Was
They
it?
all are. I mean, because they're literally one
Oh,
of
I
the
know
best
who it
groups
is.
of all time.
You know who it is?
Yeah.
Who is
well,
it?
what I'm trying to think of why that was in. We're gonna take
the
some
song
calls.
wasn't in, but this member was in the movie.
Was in the movie. Oh, okay. I thought the song was in the movie, but the member themselves was in the movie. So I think I know. So what are you looking for? The name of the movie or the name of the
name of the member of this band.
the name of the member of the band?
One of the members of the band.
Yes.
All right, can you give us initials?
I can't give you initials, but I'll tell you the band is from California.
Or we know that.
Okay.
We need more.
Okay.
Did you get it?
I think so.
Okay.
but I'm not
The it's the group is named after.
Don't say what it's named after because it's easy. It's
No,
a one name.
stop
hey,
it.
What? I saw them in
it's
concert.
It's one name?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Yes, it's one name. If you take it that way, yeah.
Well, it's not the.
Right. It's not the. You're
If you
correct.
all right, so that
I think I know.
and I saw them in concert in 1973,
So
back in the early days, and they were toting along there.
Leo Cadis Jr. there.
Leo got it.
R,
Leo's got it.
Has got it. Because it's an 80s thing. Of course he knows.
Leo's,
Well, 70s
Leo's a
thing.
music
Movies,
guy,
yeah.
so he knows.
right.
He knows.
But
now I know which
this
group it is.
person was in the movie.
Was in the movie.
Really?
I didn't know he was in that movie.
Well,
Well, what was the movie? We don't
All
even
right,
know what the movie
nobody's
is.
guessing, so
All
let's
right,
just
so we
get
might as well do
All
it.
right,
Yeah.
It's,
So-
it's Glenn Fry.
it's
was
Glenn
gonna say
Fry.
I
Glenn
figured it was
Fry.
one of the Eagles,
By the
right?
way, who passed away and his son played with them recently.
On a
Glenn
concert.
Fry's
That
son,
was,
yeah.
Right.
So
it's
what
Glenn
was the name of the
Fry,
movie?
And it's the Eagles, obviously.
Smuggler's Blues? I don't know.
No, and it was called Let's Get Harry, and it was made in 1986.
I would never know
Let's
this
Get
movie.
Harry.
Yeah,
Never
obviously,
heard of it.
obviously, it didn't make the Oscar nomination.
Oscar didn't make my list.
But also it's important, and I don't know if you're going to bring it up today. It was Hotel California was
Right.
the song in 1977 that went gold.
Right, that would make sense.
All right, I need to read this because somebody wrote in about something we were talking about earlier. So totally agree with Taylor's opinion on the village planning board, not capable to make a decision and afraid to uphold the zoning regulations for the fear of few naysayers. Well, few. One. Here's the names of the board members. Good, because I didn't know.
Well, you don't want to announce that on
I
the air,
do.
you?
Jim Peterson, appointed by the mayor, while his wife Eileen Patterson was village trustee. How weird. Okay, Gary Boland, the woman who refused to recuse herself. What's her name? Carrie. Okay. Jesse Gallo, Bill Olson from, and Tom McKnight, who's the attorney for the village.
So that's the whole group right there.
Yeah, I thought they were, no, and I'm sorry, and Rob Dickover. And so I guess
Was a lawyer,
Rob
yeah.
Dickover is the lawyer.
Right.
But I mean, you people should be ashamed of
You
yourselves.
people.
You really
You people.
should be ashamed of yourselves.
Well, I'm ashamed of myself every day, Taylor.
Yeah,
You make that-
and what you should all do when this is over, and it will be over, and that restaurant will open, is go in, eat dinner, and apologize for all the heartache that you have caused this family.
The only problem
who's
is,
done nothing but great stuff for this community and serve great food and have fun with people.
In order to pay off all those legal fees, this hamburger is going to be $375. That's the only
You know,
downside of this
sadly,
whole
that
thing.
may-
I bought
True.
Frank Burgers yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did you
I
try?
did.
Oh, you had them the
I
other
had
day.
them, but I bought more yesterday.
We
My
haven't
son's
talked about
coming home.
Sam's Meat recently.
Yeah, we need
Man.
to talk about that because
Oh.
there's if every restaurant bought Sam's Meat Market, you'd all be busy. I
Yeah,
can
it would
tell
be
you that.
very busy.
See, your pharmacy does.
Now-
in Goshen, they use
Right, they do it.
the Sam's.
They had next to the Frank's Burgers. Now, just to let everybody know, the Frank's Burgers were $5.75
For
He had-
two.
For two, he had
For two.
Wagyu
For two.
burgers. Is that how you say it? How do you say
Wagyu.
it?
Wagyu.
Wagyu?
Wagyu.
I'm
Yeah.
like, well, maybe I'll try them out. They were $28.
Were they that
I'm,
much? Yeah.
I'm like,
Mama.
I can eat 8
You know,
Frank burgers.
But hold on a minute. I don't know if you know how they raise these cows in Japan. They have a number.
Well, how they race Frank? I had the Frank
That's
burger.
right.
Well, that would be a shame.
So here's the deal: the Wagyu beef is very expensive because it is Japanese, and he takes 100% Wagyu to make those burgers. So you're paying. You can buy
I
Wagyu
really
beef
didn't think
there.
I don't
that
even know
expensive.
how to
Here-
compare this
but
to
here-
like the best bottle of champagne you can get in the world.
But-
it is the top meat you can ever buy, and
Yeah.
they're all documented. I mean, it is
So
unbelievable.
I'm gonna go back with my son when he gets back next week, and I was talking to Steven about it, and we're gonna go buy some steaks. The question is, for me, a burger, which I'm putting on a bun and I'm putting cheese on and ketchup, I don't know if I want to have a burger that costs that much.
Exactly.
That was really my point. It
And
wasn't-
I agree with you on that. I've tried the Wagyu burgers. They are different. Whether they're better or not, I mean, the fat just comes right out of them
It's
when
a
you're cooking them.
different taste.
It's a little. It's just maybe a little bit better. I don't know. It's not worth the extra, but you have to try them once just to say, I had the Wagyu burger. Well, what do you think? But if you're going to start loading it with stuff on top and everything, I doubt if you would tell the difference. You really have to almost, take it plain or just with cheese or something like
I
that.
had a burger. I sent it to you and Taylor. They had peanut butter on it.
what?
I sent you the text a couple weeks ago.
Who did that?
Why didn't I see that?
I was in
text?
Florida, and we pulled in, and they said our burger of the day. And
Our burgers are so bad we put peanut butter on them.
And I had to try it. I had to try it.
Was it any good?
How was it?
No, I can't imagine.
How could
Actually,
it be good?
Stuck to the roof of your
you
mouth.
know what? Their burger was excellent, but
Not
you
as
di-
good as a Frank burger.
It didn't need peanut butter on it.
Now,
It was
I would say
interesting.
if you really are planning to have people come over for the barbecue, whatever, get a Frank burger. You're not gonna believe
And
how
by
good
the way,
it is.
we had a barbecue here, but it was just for the football people. They wanted to thank them for all the work
what about
they
the
did.
sponsors?
Well, no, we can't
yeah,
afford the
well, that'll be the
sponsors.
next one. We'll have to do that
Yeah,
next
no.
time.
I wasn't invited?
We can't afford all those sponsors.
All right, we'll
No,
do
but
it.
what we did is we went to Sam's and we got the burgers, and I bought a little barbecue that folds up. It's great. And Frank barbecued, and I made the side dishes like potato salad and
Yeah.
coleslaw and everything.
good.
But we bought
If
the
you wanna-
you got to buy the brioche buns.
Yeah, to
from
go with
whatever
that.
supermarket sells them, because even Steven
they're
said
great.
He also
it was the
sells
best thing with
pickled
it.
stuff in jars.
Oh, yeah.
If you like beets, get the big jar of pickled beets. I am going through them like candy. They
Yeah,
are,
they are
it is
delish.
just so
And he
good.
makes the bacon ketchup.
A lot of stuff
and
to try.
Vidalia
Try it all.
onion
But if you're going to do
ketchup.
Wagyu, before you do the burger, try a Wagyu
Ne-
slice of beef, and try
Next
that.
week,
How was the Wagyu filet mignon?
I had
He
Wagyu.
can't even talk.
I had Wagyu filet mignon. You know how good the filet mignons are there. Wagyu definitely a step above that. It was unbelievable.
He didn't talk. Let's just
I don't know if
say.
he's even. I
that's
guess he
amazing.
sells them there, but
I don't know if he sells all.
unbelievable.
Well, he buys the whole piece of.
Yeah, and he cuts it all up. But
Right.
the if you can get the Wagyu filet mignon,
We'll find out what's
just
on
leave your car
special.
there because that's what it's going to cost. Now it's
Really?
it's expensive, but it's a real treat. You got to try it at least once,
Yeah,
and see what
I'm
you think.
absolutely gonna
But
try
you
it
have to be
before I try the
careful.
burger.
Don't you can blow meat if you don't eat it right. You know what I mean? It's like if you overcook it and do stuff, it's horrible. So you really need to make sure, especially with the Wagyu, it's a trick. Make sure you cook it just right, and then you'll taste the difference. Just don't overcook it or burn it or something. What a waste
Well,
that
I
would be.
explained to you, my son does it in a sous vide. Steve and I
Oh,
were talking
that
about
would
that
be-
yesterday.
yeah, that
where
would be-
he actually, you cook it in the heated water, so you can't overcook it.
Yeah, that's
what
the way to
Frank
go.
does.
Yeah.
with your
Yeah.
burgers and
I've been
yeah.
doing them. Burgers I've been doing on top of the stove with a
With
yeah,
water.
same way, a little water and with a
Well,
top
actually,
over
this
it.
gets immersed in water. I'll send it to you next
Okay,
time. It's
that'd
pretty
be good.
interesting.